The Friday before the test is probably one of the most nerve-wracking days for a lot of students. What do? Before you take a big test at school, a lot of students want to cram or study more or do all these things, and they often will sit up late at night with a sore stomach or some kind of anxiety. So here I'm going to get you prepared and ready. Let's look at how we can enjoy our Friday and be ready for Saturday morning. The first thing that I do on Friday before taking the test is gather everything I'm going to need. So I grab my backpack or purse or whatever you want to use. It could even just be a sack. But in your bag, get it out. And I suggest you do have a bag so that you can keep everything together. You got a few things to bring with you. First of all, on the test, the s.a.t. is known for its number 2 pencils. You cannot use mechanical pencils on the test. It's kind of a bummer. But you want to make sure you have enough pencils that are sharp so you can get through all 10 sections without having to get up and use a pencil sharpener. They make too much noise, so sometimes they won't let you. And if you break off a tip because you're too nervous or because you're writing so much you've just worn through, you want something sharp. Also, check your erasers. Some of these erasers are really bad. And the test is printed on newsprint, so it's easy to smudge out something that you might really want to read later. Make sure you've got your pencils in your bag, and just in case, I bring a good eraser, one I know works really well. It's not all dried out. Next thing you want to have in your bag is your calculator. If you have a calculator you love, bring the one you like, whichever one you're most familiar with. You can bring any calculator into the test. They don't care which one. Rule is you can't have it open during any other section than the math. And if you're calculator dependent, like some of us are, wouldn't hurt to bring a spare. I've heard of a few calculators being dropped, breaking your solar screen, or worse. If you still have one of those battery calculators, this can die on you. So bring a spare if you're heavily dependent. Can't hurt. Next, you're going to want to make sure you've got some water. Something light, simple, not a whole lot, because you only get those 2 generous 5-minute bathroom breaks for everybody in the test. So bring something, keep you refreshed without making you have to wait for that next 5-minute break. And I bring something to snack on. 4.5 hours, that marathon of a test can really drain your brain. So bring something healthy. Power bar, snack bar, nothing too sugary or that's going to make you have an upset stomach when you're done. If you want, if you just feel secure because you've been practicing all those great vocabulary words, I might throw in the words I'm still working on, just as a little refresher, but they're just there for support. I may not ever use them. And there I go. I've got the basic essentials in the backpack. Now there are 3 things you still have left to do and 2 very important pieces to pack. The first thing is to make sure you have that registration printout. If you registered online, you can either download your registration form, or if you mailed it in, they've mailed you a test registration piece. Get that out, find it, and put it in your bag. You may just want to throw in the whole envelope or throw in everything you've printed out. Better to have too much than not enough. And the last thing you're going to need is an ID. You need a photo ID to get into the test. So if you're driving yourself, you may already have your driver's license in your wallet. Just go double check and make sure it's there. And if you're going to use your wallet in the morning, throw it in the bag or put it in the car. Whatever's best for you, but make sure it's with you. I'm throwing mine in the bag because I don't leave without it. Sound good? The last thing I want to make sure you do is set the alarm. As soon as you pack your bag, run over and turn on your alarm. You're going to want to wake up and not sleep in. This case, if you sleep through the test, yeah, you don't want to be late. You don't want to have to take it over. So whatever time you want to wake up, make sure it's set early enough, because Friday night is going to be your last chance to get ready, to relax, be calm, and not worry about the things that you have to do Saturday morning. So Friday night, let's not cram for the test. You've done the preparation, you've done a lot of practice, relax. I'm not saying you can't go out and do something fun, but make sure you're home on time and you have control over how you get there. So you don't want to let one of your friends drive who's not having to wake up for an 8 o'clock test in the morning, because they might want to stay out later than you. So go out, if you want, or stay home, rent a movie, download something, have some fun. If you need to do a little bit of work to get yourself in testing mode, maybe flip through some vocabulary terms or chat with a friend who's taking the test and you guys can share some ideas. But get to bed at a normal time. If you try to go to bed too early, chances are you're going to lay there and just stare at the ceiling all night. So keep it cool, keep it normal, and your Friday night is yours. Set that alarm for early Saturday morning, because that's when it comes. We are going to plan our Saturday morning with enough time to get to the test and relax and be prepared for the marathon. Wake up early. Not so early that you've got 4 hours to practice before you get there, but just enough so that you can do your normal routine, making sure you include breakfast. If your normal routine doesn't include eating breakfast in the morning, maybe you're like most of us, jump up, grab a cup of coffee and go, or worse, don't eat before you start. You're gonna really regret it come about 10 or 11 o'clock. You wanna have something nutritious in your system. I'm gonna recommend protein in the morning. High sugar content is gonna be this great up for 8 o'clock when you get there, and then it's a bummer of a crash when you're done. So if you keep protein in your system, it's gonna be good brain food and you're gonna have a better chance of surviving that whole 4.5 hours. So eggs, some kind of meat, yogurt, anything you like that's gonna keep you happy, full, and brain moving. Don't drink too much in the morning, especially not too much caffeine. If you drink a lot, remember, you're gonna have to go 1.5 hours to 2 hours before your first bathroom break. That makes it really hard to concentrate. So keep it light, and then grab your backpack and leave early. Hopefully you're familiar with your location. If you haven't been to the campus you're taking the test on, drive by. Maybe do that Friday or the weekend before if you can, and get familiar with where there's parking and you know the streets. That way when you arrive, the only thing you have to figure out is which room to go to. If you get there early enough to get anywhere on campus, get into the room, relax. You may want to chat with some of your friends, or you may want to go find a nice quiet place. Practice your breathing, get into your happy place so you're ready and calm to take the test.